attempt number 3 at making part 2 of the body lift on the Silverado. I keep getting interrupted, but anyways, you can see we made it a long ways. So I'm going to go over the things that need to be done in order to get the body, the cab part lifted. You got to remove the grill, the front bumper. I would suggest the headlights, but you don't have to, but I would suggest it. You got the trans cooler has to be unbolted, 2 bolts up here below the latch, and then there's 2 clips. This is originally over top of this, so you have to make sure you pull it away from it and over it, and then get these clips off the lines and pull the lines out of the way of the clip. I would suggest removing this plastic piece too. If I could go back, I would, because I'm gonna end up removing it anyways, because it's not gonna work out with the way things are now. You gotta also make sure you unbolt your fan shroud from your core support, and then unbolt or unclip the upper fan shroud from the lower fan shroud, and then make sure you pull your lower fan shroud out of the way of the core support so it will drop as the body lifts. There's a couple of electrical lines that needed to be taken off, like this one right here. They needed to be removed because there's a brake line right here, and you don't want to lift the brake line, so the brake line stays on the frame rail and its clips. This had to be removed from the fan shroud. This wiring was originally clipped to the fan shroud. I would suggest probably removing these lines out of the clip, this dual clip down here, and trans cooling lines and stuff. And the reason why I removed the headlights is because it makes it easier to get to this top bolt for this front body mount. So like I said, as you can see, the spacers are in there already. They come with new hardware. You can see the shiny new bolts in there and everything. It said to remove your airbox. If you have a stock airbox, you definitely need to remove it, otherwise you'll break it. However, I had this cold air intake installed anymore, and the way I looked at it is, as I lift the truck, it's just going to twist in the throttle body and it'll relocate itself automatically, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So if you have a cold air intake, don't bother removing it. You're wasting your time. It'll relocate itself when you lift the body. Then it was 4 bolts on each side, 1 in the front here, 1 right behind the front wheel well, 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the back here for the extended cab. I don't know if the standard cabs are any different. Maybe 1 less bolt mount, probably. But we just got the cab done so far. You also need to undo the emergency brake cable. Emergency brake cable over here is supposed to come apart on the driver's side or underneath the driver door, but these were rusted in there. I couldn't get it apart, so I ended up cutting it. I'll just get a new one of these once I get these off. So I just cut it for now. There's a ground wire down there I had to take off of a frame body mount. Ground wire right there on the firewall. I disconnected the positive and negative battery terminals. I also had to disconnect the steering shaft and install this extension right here. Now I have it bolted in in the stock spot, but the upper spot is not bolted in yet. I can't find the bolt in the kit, the correct bolt for that, so after a little more looking, I'm sure I'll find it. Make sure you pull the brake lines here that are coming off of the master cylinder. There's a clip way down there on the frame rail. You can access it through the fender well here. Right here and right here. You got to unclip those. I didn't. Thankfully, they popped out without bending or breaking any brake lines, because my brake lines are actually in pretty good shape. They're not brittle. So, but I forgot to do that, so make sure you do that. Then there is a wire over here. This one right here. You'll see it looking up underneath there. There's a clip going into the bottom of the firewall. Make sure you pop that out so it doesn't pull tight, because it was on me. And then otherwise, you can lift the body. I used the floor jack and this block of wood I just put it in the middle of the body and jacked it up, stuck the new spacers in there. Now the back involves these little guys and then these blocks. I'm not too happy with the instructions. They're kind of making me mad. I know I said it had really good instructions with good pictures, which it does, but at some point it gets a little sloppy because it figures the bed lift and the body lift is the easy part. The rest is all the tedious little things that you need to add to extend stuff and relocate stuff and make sure everything's still secure in a clip and everything, and not just dangling there. But it doesn't. It would be nicer if it would identify hardware better. It makes it a little difficult to identify some hardware, so I'm not happy with that. But otherwise, I'm still happy with the kit. Still good quality. I prefer grade A bolts, but most of them are 5. So, but I guess that's good enough. Just a body lift. But like I said, you can see she sits quite a bit higher. I mean, obviously 3 inches because that's how big the spacers are. But it's amazing what 3 inches does. So this is a 3-inch and 3-inch suspension lift and a 3-inch body lift. And again, as you can see, the spacer right there. So, and then the front lift is just torsion bar keys and these upper tubular control arms, which I bought separate from the Rough Country kit. I'm sure you guys can remember the videos. So, but we're getting ready to do the body. So it's starting to sprinkle here. I want to get it done. So we'll catch you guys in a little while. Stay tuned. We got more coming.